Thanks for coming to this session. Can everybody hear me in the back? Okay, cool. So I am Jennifer Williams from OpenHelix. We are a company that, in a whole bunch of ways, tries to help researchers access, learn about, and use public data. So in all sorts of resources such as UCSC Genome Browser, PDB, etc. If I forget, I do have puzzle pens and Twizzlers for anybody who wants them. But if I run out of time or I forget, just catch me. Okay, my email is there. Feel free to email me with any questions you have. Feel free to stop me at any point with questions. Last year I talked about one mechanism that we're using to try and help researchers by filtering all possible resources to specific resources that they want. This year I want to describe a different effort that we're doing, and I want to go through a lot of different apps. So this is by PowerPoint. If you want to see the actual tool, just let me know and we can talk together. But what we're doing is we're collaborating with various publishers to help researchers go from actual publications while they're reading the publication to use an app and to access various information sources, databases, as well as our trainings on how to use those databases. So the first collaboration we did was with BioMed Central. What I'm showing here, I don't know how well it shows up in the back, but this is just an example of, I've gone to BioMed Central, I've done a hunt, this is the paper that I'm interested in reading, and down here you see just a partial fragment of our app. If I actually show you the full window for that app, what you see is there is a list of different public resources, bioscience resources. And these are resources that have actually been mentioned in that specific paper. If you click on one of those links, you're going to go to our landing page for the training on how to use that resource. In this, there's a more link. So this paper, you can see, talked about a variety of different public databases. Either they're mentioning their URLs or their name. Okay, so that's going from a paper to a resource. The second thing that we did was collaborate with BioMed Central to go the other direction. So we are a company who trains people how to use public databases. We have trainings on over 100 different public databases. And so what I'm showing here is our tutorial landing page. And down here is a section where we show BioMed references that relate to this resource. So in one instance, we're taking a paper and sending you over to where you can get more of the data. Here, we're using the papers as sort of a use case for how to use this database. Okay, you want to learn this database? Here are how some other people use the database. So those are with BioMed Central. This is an expanded view of it, sorry. So this is just the list of BioMed Central papers. Another collaboration we have is with developing Elsevier apps. So Elsevier has a platform named SciVerse. This is now becoming the way that you access Scopus and Science Direct. This is the SciVerse homepage to actually use the apps that we and a lot of other different groups have developed. At the top, there is a link to an application gallery. Here is just a partial screenshot of the application gallery. At this point, this is beta, and so they don't have a super great search mechanism. You just scroll through the pages of apps, and once you find an app you're interested in, you can click the logo or the link, and you will see a description of the app. This is the description for the OpenHelix app. After you read the app, see what it does. If you're interested to adding it to your SciVerse account, you just click the button at the top, add the app to your account. Then, if you do go and use any of the apps we've developed, please feel free to review them. Let us know what you think, what we could do different, because we do plan to update them and improve them. This is an example. So I've gone to SciVerse, I've done a search, I've found a paper that I'm interested in, and over on the right side is the hub area. In this screenshot, I've got the OpenHelix app showing, but if I scroll down on this article, you would also see windows for other apps. We've also designed the OMIM and reaction maps or apps, as well as a smart one, which we'll talk about. Okay, so that's how, in general, the apps work. Now I'm just going to show you each individual app. This is the OpenHelix app. Again, I've done a search. These are the databases that I have found within the paper that I was looking at. Now let's say I click on the encode link. Just as a note, green puzzle pieces denote tutorials that are free. They're free usually because the resource actually sponsors us to do their outreach. Red puzzle pieces you would access through a subscription to our tutorials. So I click on the encode link, and this is our encode tutorial landing page as shown through the SciVerse application. You may or may not be able to see that the application is in the frame of the SciVerse hub, but it is smaller. The SciVerse hub is at the top. And if you want to go back to your paper, you just click the close link on the app. If I scroll through the app, you can see the rest of our landing page for the tutorial. And at the top of our landing pages, there's a description of what the resource does, as well as a link directly to the resource. And then we have these buttons where you can access our Flash movie training, our PowerPoint slides, which contain the full script for the tutorial, handouts, exercises, which are step-by-step scenarios if you want to start using this, as well as another link to the resource. And then below that, there's the related tutorials and the BioMed Central information that I showed you before. So that's the OpenHelix app. Describe that. We also collaborated with Elsevier and the OMIM database to create an OMIM app. And again, this is an example of what the search results would look like if I found a paper and it connected to OMIM identifiers for gene names. If I mouse over one of these items, I get an OMIM pop-up box that describes a bit about that. And if I click on an item, then again, I'm in an app window on the SciVerse platform where I can access the OMIM information and then click the window closed and go back to the article that I'm reading. We have also collaborated with Reactome to create one of these apps. And here you can click open a hierarchy of the results because Reactome, as you may know, is a protein interaction database that has protein information on various species. It also has pathways in it. And so we have the results clickable open so that you get to pick the subset that you want and we don't swamp the window. Okay, when you click on an article or click on an item, you go to Reactome and you can explore that pathway however you'd like. We also have a SMART app that we've collaborated to develop. SMART is a domain database from EMBL. And again, we have an expandable hierarchy of results. When you get to an item, you can click open and see a preview of the domain structure in that item. And if you click on that actual item, again, you go to SMART and you can explore the information there. Okay. Yeah. And I think I've probably speed babbled through this. If anybody's aware of what we do on OpenHelix blog, every week we have a 5-minute movie. We call them Tip of the Weeks, and they are just on some tip how to use some resource that we think is cool or has been newly updated. This week's tip was actually a screencast of how to use our app, the OpenHelix app. So if you want to see screen capture of using that, you can go to that blog post. Comments are welcome. Questions are welcome. Anything I can answer for you? No. Okay. Okay. Well, thanks for coming, and catch me if you want Twizzlers or puzzle pens.